Hi guys, so this is a video specifically for you guys that are in twin flame connections, okay? This is very specific for you guys. Now the question that we're going to be asking is, where are you at on this twin flame journey, and where are they at on this twin flame journey, and then a tiny bit of advice for the best way to work with this currently, okay? At the end as well, I actually have a wild card that I'm going to shuffle just for you, and that's purely for you to interpret, to do with your connection, because obviously there'll be loads of you here and you just want to make this reading as specific as possible to you, and I think that's one of the great ways for you to do it. So I'll shuffle that at the end so that you can decide. Okay, so just see and feel into your intuition. Is your message message 1, which goes with the male Boji stone? Is your message message 2, that goes with the rose quartz? Is your message message 3, which goes with the amethyst? Or is your message pile 4, which goes with the female Boji stone? So just take your time, but also go with your first response. It's usually always right. And if you get a message like, oh, it's a little bit of this pile and a little bit of this pile, or whatever it might be, totally go with it. And now we'll go on to message number 1. So just relax and start thinking about that person. And I'm just going to put out the cards. So I actually got channeled messages as I was shuffling for each of the piles, so we'll go through those. Now this is, I actually got them coming out first of all, and that already told me that currently your person is having more of an impact on that twin flame dynamic than you are at the moment, because it can vary, but that's just the way it is at the moment. So at the moment they have more of a driving seat in where it's actually going, where it's headed. This is where you're at to do with it, and then this is the joint bits in between, and we have the power animal that's currently guiding your current space of connection. So before we look at these, what I would just say is, when I was shuffling, it was definitely more dominant from them. And actually this card, the Aquarius, the Innovator, popped out upright, and it literally says pow. So they are going through some shake-ups to do with this dynamic, that is for sure. But now let's just see what the channeled message was. So yeah, the first thing I got as well with you guys is retreat. And then I got basically this image of a person that was all cold in a cave, and they were kind of like huddling around a fire by themselves. But this was the thing, they did feel they did feel hopeful as they were kind of watching the flames dance. And then the other thing that I got with this was it was just that they are more dynamic in the connection than you. So let's just see what appears that's going up. Let's check out what they've got first of all. So we got for them Aquarius, the Innovator, pow, and that just boshed out instantly. And we got getting to know each other, but that did actually come out reversed, to be fair. And then let's see what 2 cards they got here. Oh, nice. So we got the All Gifted and the Page of Pentacles in reversed. Now the all Gifted is like the wild card of this tarot deck, so that's really interesting. Let's see what you had, because I like to see you guys side by side. So you got Sextile Allowing. Oh cool, okay. And you also got in reverse Romantic Feelings, and then you also got the Magician, okay, equally powerful, and 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so we're not going to look at the middle cards until we suss this out. Just give me a moment to feel into the energy of you guys. Connection. Okay, what I'm really getting is you're the person currently right now to do this twin flame connection. I feel like I feel like you're in retreat from each other. You're either not communicating, you're not really communicating in physical reality, basically, but you are obviously on the 5th dimensional telepathic way, because all twin flames are constantly communicating with each other in 5D reality. Whether you're in communication in physical reality or not, I promise you it's always happening in 5D, and that's definitely what's going off with you guys. They're getting curious about actually what this connection is. It's like maybe you've even mentioned twin flames to them before, or maybe you haven't, but whatever is happening is life is starting to give them some deeper awareness about what this relationship is, because they've suddenly got to this point of like, wait a minute, what is this connection? I don't have a connection like this with anybody else. We come together, we break apart, we come together, we break apart, we like feel deep connections, like I know everything about them, they seem to know everything about me. Like, what is this? I don't get what this is. So they're really starting to question that. And I do think this is the retreat. And this probably reminds, actually, I think you're both doing this. You are both the person in the cave around the fire, feeling cold, but feeling really hopeful as you look at flames dancing. Because I feel like this person is actually spending quite a bit of time contemplating about your dynamic. And they're doing that in physical reality. So in 3D reality, they're very much starting to consider it. But I also do feel at points they feel a bit overwhelmed by it. So then they sort of try and totally back off. Like, I feel when they're considering it, it's kind of like they're the person in the cave looking at the flames. Then they get overwhelmed by it, and then they go into retreat mode. So they go even further back into the cave and try and forget about your connections. But then it's like life just gives them a little synchronicity or something, and suddenly they're back again and thinking about you and thinking about this connection. I do sort of feel like this person here is currently in like that more masculine energy pathway person, okay, and you're currently more in the feminine energy pathway person. One thing I would like to say that I don't know I hear all twin flame readers say is you are both constantly going to be flicking between the divine masculine kind of energy and the divine feminine type of energy. Technically, neither one of you is more the feminine or more than the masculine on a soul level. But what happens is on your journey and on your interaction, you will constantly be interchanging those roles, because that's one of the best friggin' ways that your soul can grow and expand its consciousness, by experiencing the opposites of polarities. So you will also do that within like those energies of masculine and feminine. That's one thing to be mindful of. But at the moment, they're actually more in that masculine vibe, because they're in the more of retreating into their own energy to decide what next best action to take. So kind of like if they were a warrior, they're looking at what's been going off and they're thinking, right, so now what's the best way that I move forward to get a negotiation? They're kind of in that kind of space, that kind of place. Now you, where you're at to do with this connection is, great, I loved it when I first saw this, semi-sextile allowing, it's quite nurturing, and we've got all of these stars shining out. It makes me think that actually you are actually really taking a lot of action steps currently, not so much to do with the relationship, like you're aware it's there, you do want the connection because you feel that that's your counterpart on every level, but you're also really concentrating on your highest potential, your life purpose basically. So whatever it is that you're here to do that is unique to you, okay? And the reason why I feel that, because I feel like you've actually starting to activate your soul star chakra, which is your 9th chakra. Have a Google about that, right? And try some meditations to do that, because it's super, super powerful, and it will ultimately help your twin flame connection. Because one thing I don't know if I hear lots of readers say as well about twin flames is the most important thing, more than you guys being together or any other thing, is ultimately to trigger and stimulate each other to become your highest potential and to do your life purpose, your life calling, because that's then how you give out the most amazing energy to collective consciousness, which is ultimately what the twin flame dynamic is all about. And I do really feel that you're really starting to, or if you haven't, you will literally be starting to work out what is your life purpose, like what you're here to do. And I do feel like a lot of you will already know, you know, I really feel you'll already know, and you're taking action steps. But obviously there's a range of people here. I actually feel when it comes to you and the person sitting in the cave and they're cold but they're feeling helpful looking at the flames, I feel like that's you to do with your highest potential, like your life purpose. Because I almost feel like you've like backed off, you're giving this twin flame relationship some space to breathe, which has then actually triggered your counterpart to then have space to look into the relationship, because you've left it a gap. And while that twin flame's doing that, you're then focusing on your life purpose, because we also have the magician here, which is super powerful. And I do see the romantic feelings in reverse. I don't feel like this is because you've got any sort of lacking of romantic feelings to do with this person. It's just that that's not the most dominant thing that you're concentrating on at the moment, because I do feel as well you have previously gone through that whole, that whole quite grieving process to do with knowing this is your twin flame and not being with them. I really feel like you've gone through that and you've pretty much mastered that. And then that's now opened you up to the other potentials within this dynamic, which is this person will have either consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously triggered you to become more aware of about what you're here to do in this physical reality to be your highest potential. So that's where I see you both at within your relationship. And you know what? On the whole, it feels good. So if ever sometimes you go into a bit of anxiety about it or whatever, you don't need to, because it's happening. It's doing exactly what it needs to do right now. You're backing off and focusing on what you need to do, which has then made space for this party to come in and start contemplating and thinking about the relationship without you sending any intense energy into the relationship dynamic. Because one thing that you do need to be mindful of so that you stay in this space is, I often know energetically that when, say, the twin, the runner, right, is running and then the chaser twin is like chasing after them, oh my God, it puts havoc into the relationship dynamic. I mean, like absolute frigging chaos. And sometimes it can stay there for ages because it's like a crazy whirlwind. What you have done by backing off is you've actually just left like the background bass tone of your twin flame relationship vibration to be in place. The backbeat of your relationship twin flame dynamic will always be a beautiful frequency, and because it's beautiful, it's kind of like alluring this person in to want to know more. That's what's happening on that psychic energetic level, so carry on doing that. Also, the more you step into your highest potential, the more your natural frequency color set, which is a unique set of colors to everybody, I'll leave a link below for a video for you to activate that on my other channel. The more you are activating that, which you naturally do by working towards your highest potential or your life purpose, the more beautiful you vibrate, which means the more this person wants to like be drawn to you or is like unconsciously, subconsciously pulled towards you. Okay, so stay in this space. This is good. Allow this to happen. Allow them to be more dominant in seeing where this relationship goes currently, because that's exactly what needs to happen. So let's see what, oh no, I'm going to do the paranormal last because I friggin' love paranormals. We'll see what is the guidance for where everything's at. Divine guidance. I mean, to be honest, I just think that's what we were talking about. You are, this party here, they are following their guidance to be asking like, what is this relationship? Gosh, why do I keep getting synchronicities to do with it? Why is this nothing like what has ever happened before? Your divine guidance is, you know what? Yeah, I do feel connecting, but I'm focusing on me. I'm focusing on who I am, my life purpose, what makes me happy. Guys, carry on doing that. It's like perfect. And if ever you start to just sort of like falter a little, which is totally understandable, because bearing in mind, the twin flame connection pushes you to your fucking extreme. I don't know any more potent, powerful interaction for like self-growth and self-mastery. So do not be harsh on yourself if sometimes you get a little bit of anxiety, but just try and then just do whatever you need to do just to dispel that energy. Go for a walk, I don't know, go to the gym, whatever you might do, chat to a mate about it, whatever it might be, and then refocus again on what it is that you're here to do. And then that will really help rebalance it all back out again. And just one other thing to note, that as they are getting interested to do the dynamic and then retreating again, that is probably the thing that might trigger your anxiety, because on an unconscious level you might feel them getting interested, so unconsciously you start to feel good, and then suddenly out of nowhere you start to feel like you just don't feel so good about it anymore, and a bit of anxiety comes in as they retreat back again, like further away from the relationship. So instead of looking at the flames in the cave, they go further off into the cave because they've got overwhelmed by what they found out about. Just understand that's why your anxiety might come and it might go. When you know what this is, you can do something about it. And what I would suggest that you do is, once again, just do the meditation for your natural frequency color set, which I'll leave the link, and that will help reharmonize you back into your own frequency and ground you into your deepest state of being, which will calm you down, will stop you connecting and attaching onto them, and then paradoxically will make them feel allured towards you, because your natural frequency color set is the most pimping thing for your twin flame on an energetic level. So just be mindful of that. Now let's see which is the paranormal that's currently guiding you guys. Wow, we have a repeat message here. Hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide, which totally goes with divine guidance. So carry on with this allowing. You're doing so well with that. It's like and also the magician here, it is very much like you are working with the universe anyway. You're starting to understand deeper dynamics about yourself. You know, if you do the natural frequency color set, you'll bring that part in. If you also understand about why anxiety comes and goes sometimes, you'll understand it's coming from this party and like what's going off. All of these things is allowing you to tap more and more into your I don't know, like your deep, this is weird, but I'm getting this image, like basically it's like you're starting to understand that you are, let's say, the white keys on the piano and spirit is the black keys on the piano, and you're starting to understand how you can play in rhythm with all of the different parts of you, like the many different parts of you, all the different white coloured keys on the piano, but at the same time how they work incredibly in with the universe, with the black keys of the piano. And then now and then you're starting to understand when it all starts to come together, and you can feel your twin flame counterpart also starting to play into this, and he's like, or they, that masculine part, because it can be any gender, remember I'm just talking about energies, they're like the keys of the pedals of the piano. So you're starting to get into that dynamic, is the only way that my spirit guides are showing it me. So flow is key. And I guess that music's going to be important on some level to somebody here, both of you here, whatever. So maybe have your own playlist that you create to just get you back into your pimping vibes if ever you start to worry or feel down. But to be honest, this is good. You know, I feel this is progress. Whatever this was before, this is now progress. Feel release on that. Right, so now this is a card just for you guys to interpret, very specifically to do with your dynamic in this relationship. I always say this, but psychic stuff is abstract. What you see, the words you might get on the card, it might mean the complete opposite to you on a deep soul level. Always go with what you honestly feel deep down inside. One thing I know about all twin flames and all twin flame connections is they absolutely always make you more psychic, intuitive, understand your soul better, because that's one of the big reasons of why you're in that dynamic, basically. So let's just see what we get. I will also read out what it says to you in the book, because sometimes my spirit guides will be like, if I'm not understanding something, they'll be like, pull a card from the book, read the words from the book, and then we'll tell you which is the important words. And honestly, that works amazingly. So that might work for you guys. And because I also promise you, all you guys in Twin Flame Connections, you have got one spirit guide, which is your most deeply connected spirit guide in this lifetime, and it directly is a friend of your twin flames. Trust me on this one. So let's see what you got. Ooh, so you get priorities, and it says you understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. So let's just see what it says in the book. Okay, so through love and understanding, you are able to put the pieces of your own puzzle together, and by doing so, you have a deeper awareness of who you are and why you are here. Regularly take a moment out of your day to reassess your priorities. Confirm that you are living the life you have intended and that you aren't wasting energy on focusing on things that don't feed your soul's growth. Focus on what is important to you and why. Are you happy with your current situation? Are you doing your best to help make others happy? Are there people in your life who are not supporting your goals? Pausing on your daily journey to reestablish your priorities, using love and compassion as your guide, gives you a better indication of your path forward. So much of life on earth is distraction, and the ego can be fragile and petty. Stop. Listen to your heart. Your number one goal is to love yourself and share that love. All the other diversions rank after that. Life in this physical dimension is not easy, nor was it meant to be. You have to practice instilling the energy of love into your habitual thought processes. Prioritizing and decision making then becomes so much easier. The choice always comes down to love. Cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll leave links to the stuff that I think was relevant for you. Definitely work with your natural frequency colour setting meditation. I'll also leave a link, don't know about a link, but you can find me on Instagram on AbigailGrace2311. I just do loads of stuff there, everything psychic related, from psychic tools to astrology, tarot, the whole entire lot. And I'll post stuff up to do with twin flame things too. But other than that, it's all going good. Stay with this flow. It's great. So cool. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in another reading, and we'll go on to pile number 2. So hi guys, this is pile number 2. So I've got a channeled message that I got for you guys when I was like shuffling your cards. Now this is very specifically, like I say, for the twin flames. And so here we are. This is where you're at to do with the connection. This is where they are at to do with the connection. And this is the paranormal that's guiding your relationship currently, and then this is the guidance. What I would say about the guidance is these 2 cards flipped out instantly. So you know what, I'm starting with these 2 cards after we've done the channeled message, because it just feels that's the way we should do this. So what I got as the channeled message was this. So the current space of ultimately where it looks like things is at is so much flexibility is the first word I got before I'd even basically shuffled anything. My guys were just like, group 2, the key word here is flexibility. And then they gave me an image of a gymnast stretching during a warm-up before a competition. So it's like she'd already got some layers on. So it wasn't like she'd quite taken off all of her clothes to then literally be ready to go into the competition. She was like a step or 2 behind actually going up there and performing. And she was just stretching and kind of relaxing into what she knew was coming. So let's see how that relates to the reading. I think relaxing into what she knows is coming is really relevant to you guys in some way, but we'll find out how. Then also what I did get a very specific message from my guide, specifically my twin flame guide, my best mate also of all my spirit guides. He was like, basically there is a release of pressure coming for this group, and you will know when that's happening, because whatever this paranormal is, it's going to appear in your physical reality somehow. So that might either be through a dream, you might see it on a book, you might see it on the TV, somebody might talk about it, you might hear about it. I've got no idea how it will come to you, but you will know when this release point has occurred in your current twin flame connection dynamic, because this paranormal will appear to you in some way. So that's something to be mindful of. Right, so let's just see. So the first things we got was instantly the guidance. So that just makes me feel that don't overreact, right? Whatever is currently going on, just need to hold steady. Because actually, rather than worrying too much about where you're at, where they're at, you just need to know what to currently do right now is definitely what I'm picking up to do with this. And with this we get transmutation and we get listening. So this really reminds me here, and I mentioned it before, soul star chakra. If you guys don't know it already, you need to work, activate and meditate with your soul star chakra, which is your 9th chakra. So I'll leave a link, just 9th chakra. You need to Google and have a look at that. Basically what your your soul star chakra, what it does is it holds all your highest potential for you in this lifetime. And one of the things that's really important to know about the twin flame connection is the number 1 reason, well, there's 2 reasons why it's there. 1, because it's the best way towards self-growth and self-mastery. 2, because, or not the best way, but it's a potent way. There's other ways as well, but if you're going to learn through a relationship dynamic, this is one of the really potent ways to do it. And the other thing is, with the twin flame dynamic, that basically it's all about you becoming your highest potential and living out your life purpose. That is even more important than the 2 of you being together, okay? But actually, ironically, usually when you're doing your life purpose is when you are more likely to be in union, in whatever level that might be, as lovers, as friends, as whatever the hell it might be, okay? So it's really important that you start thinking about your highest potential, your life purpose, and being open to receive downloads about what that is. And I think you'll do that in meditation when you're activating that 9th star chakra. So definitely consider doing that. That's part of the advice what's going on. The second thing is transmutation. For me, this is like really straight, well, just like boom, it's this. What happens is, Obviously there's energy cords between you and everybody, but there's really powerful energy cords between you and your twin flame, obviously. Some of those cords are currently blocked and unhealthy. What you need to do again in meditation is you need to see where you can see unhealthy cords going from your body and soul to their body and soul. You need to work out why they are unhealthy, and then you need to change that colour and therefore the energy going into that cord to be something harmonious. You usually need to do this for at least 7 days in a row, because let's say you see black energy coming from your throat to their sacral chakra or something like that, right? And then you decide, oh, that's because I'm not communicating about what I really need, and I don't feel like they're hearing it or listening to it, or they understand, or they even care, something like that, right? So then you go, right, so what would be, instead of that being blackened or distorted in that colour energy, what would be the better energy to have? And you might be, okay, so I need there to be a bit of healing and softening, so we'll put green in. And then I really, really need them to just open up and hold a space for me, and that to me feels like pink. This is just a random guess, right? So then you start seeing the black energy in the cord turn into green and pink energy. So you do that on day 1. The next day when you go back, it might have gone straight back to black cords energy again. Totally understandable, which is why you need to repeat the process, because energy is just like growing muscles at the gym. You've got to do it through repetition. So go into meditation, activate your 9th star chakra, and then also have a look at working with these cords, okay? Seeing where they're unhealthy between you and your twin, and then why they are unhealthy, like what is the energy that's getting blocked in there, and then working out what energy you need to put in there to make it harmonious, and use the colours that you feel represent those harmonious energies, and then do that consecutively for 7 days. So to be honest, I feel like that's very specific guidance for you guys. And it does make me think that this is really, really important to do, because there's a potential something coming. Like I say, like this person is stretching for something. They know it's not happening yet, but they know they're going to be called to perform in some way. And I feel like the universe is going to, at some point, and it's going to be different times for all of you, right? It's going to be bringing connection back between the two of you in a new way. But if you have not done the prep work and changed stuff, I'm not sure you'll be able to activate a new pathway, in which case you'll just repeat the cycle that you're in. So this is kind of cool, because it's something coming. You've got a chance to prepare for it. And this is a flexibility in thinking as well, remember. You need to potentially think about why the other person is behaving the way that they are. I feel from this dynamic, and it is a childhood issue thing. One thing I do want to mention is that if ever you have a childhood issue theme, my guides have told me it's absolutely always a theme from a past life as well. But we just seem to like to blame our parents or family because we can associate most with them. But actually it comes from a past life scenario. So you don't want to get too stuck on, you don't want them to get too stuck on the dynamic that it's a parent or something like that, because it's much deeper than that. But anyway, right, so now let's see where you're at. Okay, so we've got 4 of Swords upright, and then Ace of Cups in reversed. Then we have Express Your Love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And then we've got Neptune Dreams in reversed. Let's see where they're at. By the way, everybody's got different patterns, all the different groups. You guys have got like an arrow. I really feel something is definitely going to be drawing you two guys back together again. But do the prep work. Definitely make sure those cords are healthy. Right, so then where are they at? So 3 of Cups in reversed. 3 of Pentacles upright. Playfulness in reverse. And Sagittarius the Voyager. Okay, so the instant thing I instantly got with these guys here is whoever this counterpart, they have been spending time with somebody else, connecting them with somebody else emotionally. But you know what? That's absolutely coming to an end now. It's come to an end. And I really just got that instantly. And now they're looking to broaden their horizons about actually something about this dynamic was not fulfilling for them. And it actually, now they've left it behind, it's made them question what it is they really do want. And they've actually realised they do want to work towards something solid. And that's why you have come back into their consciousness again. Because they're kind of like, wait a minute, what is that thing? Because ultimately they know, their soul knows, right, that you are their twin flame and vice versa. And now this distraction from their physical reality has gone away, and they were the ones to choose to walk away from it because it was not satisfying. Now they're questioning what's going off. what it is that they want, and they are prepared to put some work in. I wonder if this is why, this is the whole thing about you stretching to prepare for something coming, because they're going to come back with some information or some connection or some communication of some kind. And so the better that you can prepare yourself, the more likely this will go in a harmonious way. But I mean, I really just get in, boom, that's where they're at. So if you know that's not where they are at, then this cannot be the reading for you, because it's super clear to me that it's that. Doof. So let's see. Now with you, I'm getting a few things here. I feel like you've been in a bit of, the word that's coming through is stubborn. I feel like on an energetic level, and I'm not saying about on a human level, I'm talking now on that energetic soul level, because there really is always those two parts of the twin flame dynamic. What's going off in 3D reality, like physical reality, and what's going off in 5D reality, i.e. in that soul level. And you know, for you, I feel like in physical reality, this is weird. Let me just give me 1 second. I feel you're quite close to your soul awareness to do with this whole dynamic, right? And I feel like you've been flitting between feeling stubborn to them on a human level, which has then made you feel stubborn on a soul level. But then at the same time, on a soul level, you've felt another opening up towards them. It's almost like you understand that they've sort of are potentially coming closer to you again. And so you've started to maybe have some dreams to do with them. I mean, I do know that twin flames talk to each other and communicate to each other massively in dreams. So, you know what, if you haven't had any dreams to do with this twin flame counterpart, stay open to the fact that you will be. When you get them, write them down, because they've got something really useful about what you need to do with this kind of preparation, to do with what's coming. And I'm getting that quite strongly. So you might have already had them, or you might not yet, but stay open to that, because I do feel part of you feels a little bit pissed off about this dynamic, but then the other part of you is like, oh, but I do really want it to work, because I just know that this is it, like with the express your love. But obviously with the Ace of Cups in reverse, I do think obviously there's some hesitancy of like, oh, I do really want it, but I just don't want things to quite be so intense and not going anywhere. So you've kind of been a bit unsure, right? And probably that's partly what's caused like a mix-up with these cores, the energy cores between you both. Obviously them, because they've been having a different dynamic, so had another energy going off. And you, because you kind of felt quite conflicted about what you do want and what you don't want, do want, don't want, do want, don't want. So I do think more than ever now, seeing these cards, like doing this cord transmutation is really, really important. Please do not cut the cords. I know like some practices explain you should cut cords. My guides have honestly told me don't ever cut cords, and I've done it both ways, where I've cut cords and where I haven't cut cords, and honestly like it feels so much more nurturing and loving to you, them and life itself to transform something rather than to cut it off. So be mindful with that. But I suppose summation, just listen to your dreams, listen to those deeper awarenesses of stuff, appreciate that potentially something is coming. This is the other thing that my guide is saying instantly. Don't suddenly start fixating on this person coming in, coming back, coming with a really big offer, because that will block it up. You've got to try and stay emotionally open without doing this thing, which is like this. Whenever I see somebody being codependent and really needy on somebody else, it's like their energy field becomes like an octopus, and it's like tentacles come out from that needy person and attach onto the person that they're desperate for. So I suppose if you can in any way start to feel your energy becoming like octopus tentacles attaching onto this other person, this twin, stop. You need to do some meditation. You need to look at the cords. You just need to ground yourself. And you know what? You just need to be in charge of your energy field and just be like, nope, I'm not doing that. Actually, there was a really good video that I've got on my other channel that would be useful. And I first got this to do with my twin, and it worked in frigging incredible a long time ago. If you're starting to feel anxious to do with this connection, or you're starting to have that octopus tentacles thing, what you need to do is this. I'll leave the link for the video, but really, really briefly, what you would do is you need to visualize having a black boundary, like an egg, going the whole way around your energy field. program that boundary to keep any anxiety or negative thinking to do with your twin within that black boundary, so your twin cannot pick up on it. Then visualize having a really small white boundary around the black boundary, which you just program to hold all the awesome feelings, thoughts, beliefs and ideas that you've ever had about your twin and their connection, and allow that energy to go out to your twin flame. Really what this does is it makes sure that you don't create any energetic instability within the twin flame connection because you're starting to have anxieties about something or you're becoming needy. With you then containing it within you, not only does it stop your twin picking up on it and therefore it start ping-ponging between you both and causing havoc, but also what it does is it actually allows you to use all of that energy to then transform your way of thinking to do with the situation, which ultimately means that you increase your consciousness to do with it, raise your vibration, and this is only a great thing to do with a twin flame connection. So I'll leave a link for that one below. So I do think that would be really, really useful as well to do with where everything's at. So yeah, you have a couple of things to do actually, to be fair. And I don't always get lots of guidance on this one because it wasn't the intention, but obviously it's what's coming through. So meditate on your soul star chakra, do the cord transmutation for 7 days, and then also think about using this energy boundary tool if you start to have anxiety or you start to get needy to do with your twin. You've got to relax on it, but just prepare for a reuniting to take you on to the next stage of whatever it is. Because remember, sometimes you come together then to work stuff out to then move away again, or you come together because one of you has to tell the other something important for their soul. Like I've had that so many times with my twin, where they've come back in just to give me a really important understanding about something, and then we go off again and then come back again when there's guidance. So just be open to whatever, okay? Now let's see which is the animal guiding your relationship right now. Ooh, nice. Chameleon. Act as if. Right, so again for me, chameleon changes colours to the environment. I just really feel there's some change that's on the horizon. And also, you know, changing the colours to the environment, this also just for me reinforces the cord. You've got to change the colours in those cords to be harmonious to help with this connection. But also just remember, the very first guidance from my guides before we saw anything, which is that you'll know when there's been a release of pressure from them and from this connection and from yourself, because this chameleon power animal is going to show up in some way. So be open to it anywhere, on a bus, on a book. Hear somebody talk about chameleons, you might see it on a t-shirt, yeah, anything, right? Just know when you see that power animal, that is a trigger that there has been a release point, okay? And I don't know why that's important, but it is. There's too many of you to be specific on that. But yes, now let's just pull the individual card for you guys, the wild card, so you can make this reading your own, because obviously you know your soul, yourself, and your twin better than anybody else. So just one thing, what I would say is that whatever card comes up, you've got to go with what you intuitively feel, even if it's something very different to what the card is saying, because psychic stuff is abstract, and you must always follow what you feel deep inside. That's your intuition, that's your guides chatting. So we'll pull it out, and then I'll read out in the book what it says as well, because sometimes you can just hear words that help trigger for what's going on. But let's just see. So the card that you got is ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. So let me just see what this says in the book so you can go with that. Just give me a second while I find it. Okay, so you have reached a pivotal place in your spiritual journey. You are able to take full responsibility for all your actions, thoughts, and words in this time and over lifetimes. You may now step back and view your experiences objectively, realizing that you are an evolving spiritual being. Each day has brought with it a new insight into yourself and the world around you. You don't look back on particular situations as failures. Instead, you view them as valuable feedback, providing information you need in order to learn, understand, and grow. You take ownership of your choices, aware that as a responsible being, you cannot blame your behaviour on another. Everything you experience is a reflection of what is within you. Recognizing that what you say can either enlighten or depress, you now speak with a purpose. You choose positive and empowering words, thoughts, and deeds, the cornerstone of a healthy and soulful existence. Cool, so think about all of everything that we said there, and then just make it your own. I'm on Instagram on Abigail Grace 2311, so please follow me there. I post loads of stuff, tarot, astrology, loads of psychic tools, and everything like that. Because one thing I do know with the twin flame journey is the more psychic tools that you can use for yourself, the more you get to know your own soul, the easier it is to work with this dynamic, which is full of obviously intense challenges, but absolutely phenomenal gifts. So cool. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on another reading. And now we'll go on to pile 3. So now we're going to do pile number 3. So this is your channeled message that my guide gave me specifically when I was shuffling. So we'll look at that. So this is where you're at to do with the connection. I feel like it's like this. This is where they're at to do with the connection. Ooh, spun. Okay, and then this is the power animal to guide that's guiding your connection currently, and then this is the best way for you to move forward currently. So let me just read out what was your message. So I got, all right, yeah, you were this pile where as soon as I started shuffling, the cards just flew out, but they flew out chaotically, and I could do nothing with them but put them back in to reorder them, reshuffle them. And so it just really felt like there's so much chaotic, explosive energy that's going off in your dynamic currently. There's like so much scattering, and like it's unstable, and it's also a little bit heavy at the moment. And the one thing that I really did get, that my guide said to me, is you really need to clean your energy, because it is quite heavy with everything that's gone off, with all the different dynamics. One of the great ways that you can do that is to have a salt bath. So Epsom salts, Dead Sea salts, put whatever you feel is the right amount for you to put in. Obviously, I'm not going to guide you on that. You have to take any kind of responsibility for that. But I personally always stay in there for at least 30 minutes. And it just really allows your energy field to get cleared out of any heaviness. Also, obviously, meditation would do that. And also some Reiki sessions could really do that too. So if you can do self-Reiki, do that. If not, maybe have a little bit of Reiki. That could be useful. Just anything. Also, just being out in nature for a long period of time. If you also set the intention, if you're walking through some woods, trees, please can you really kind of take off like this heavy energy and take it into the center of the earth, like Pachamama. It's like a shamanic thing, way of doing it. When they see the earth is called Pachamama, and she will take heavy energy from you, because then she can almost like use it like manure to then make something beautiful for the earth. And it is not useful for you, but it can be useful for her. So have a think about that. And the other thing that I got coming through when I was like shuffling the cards is like even Stevens. So I feel like there's some sort of like tit for tat that's gone off, I think, in the connection. But actually deep down you both, I feel are ready to kind of put that aside, because I think you feel like you've both done tit for tat enough. It's kind of what's coming through. But let's just see. Also, I think it's interesting the way I felt guided to put out the cards. It's kind of like you're like equal and opposite at the moment. So let's just see what else we get. So for you, we get 4 of Pentacles in reversed and 10 of Wands in reversed. We also get, oh nice, Venus love. And then we also get separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So let's just see where they're then at. Let's go with these ones first. So they are 9th house seeking. So interesting. Pile 1, the twin flame there was seeking also. And also engagement. Your love is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Interesting. And then we get here 2 of Pentacles that they are in. And we also get, ooh, 8 of Pentacles. I mean, instantly, when I sometimes see this, I instantly think karma. Your twin is currently working through karma. And I feel they're working through the karma effectively. I actually feel like they're taking responsibility for choices that they've made and how they've got into this situation. I think they're starting to understand their soul commitments on a deeper level, and they're currently in the process of working through some karma. I do feel like they're working through karma to do with you, but also to do with somebody or something else as well. I just really, really feel that. This is positive though, because I do feel like with how heavy the energy was, and obviously I can see, obviously you're in a quite heavy place to do with it as well, despite there being a lot of love there. You know, the heaviness is karma being released. So that also makes me think about cleaning the energy fields, because if your twin, remember, whatever your twin is doing, you're kind of like atoms. If it's happening to one of you, it's simultaneously happening to the other in whatever way that might be occurring. So if your twin is working through some karma and releasing heavy energy in that way, then you will also be doing the same in your own way too. And I do really feel that it's important that my guides are saying for the next 2 to 6 weeks that you really almost have a daily practice of clearing your energy field. So, you know, that can just be as simple as going through and clearing out your chakras, or, I mean, one thing I do think is really useful for all twins is to activate your natural frequency colour set. It's a specific range of colours that's unique to you, which is basically like your highest potential, your life purpose represented in colours, and you can activate those and sit with them in meditation, and it will really help you ground in your natural frequency, which is ultimately the same sort of natural frequency as your twin, because twin flames always have like the exact same energetic signature. It's mental, and that's why you just know them as soon as you meet them, because it's the first time you've ever met somebody that feels exactly the way you do, despite how they look, despite how they speak. So I really feel, I'll leave a link for that, for the natural frequency colour set, and I think if you work with that in meditation for the next 2 to 6 weeks, it will really help lift the heavy energy, not just from you, but also it helps with your counterpart. Although obviously you should only ever do it because you want to, not from a place of codependency, right? You don't do it to you because you want it to ultimately have an effect on them. Do it for you, if that kind of makes sense. Because I do often know as well, like a big sticky point with twin flames is often codependency when you're working through stuff, particularly kind of like karmic stuff. So yeah, that's where I feel like they're at with things. I do feel it's great they're releasing the karma, and I think it's great that they're actually seeking for bigger answers, because 9th house in the zodiac is the Sagittarius house, so it's kind of like it's philosophizing, it's getting into spirituality, it's seeing things from a different perspective, it's exploring places that you've not been to before, and I do think that's only a positive thing for them becoming more aware of the twin flame connection and your dynamic. So that to me feels positive, even though I do think it's painful for you because they're currently interacting in relationships and dynamics that is challenging you to still hold a space of love while in separation, but also you're really being tested to not be codependent, to not be needy, and to really love from a place of non-attachment. And I do feel like that's hard for you guys. And I do feel like you go through spaces of feeling okay, and then I think you dissociate and feel completely fine, but actually you're just dissociating rather than actually working with that, and then you go back into feeling quite intense again, and it kind of is flipping in and out. I really do feel though that if you work on clearing your energy field and just letting your counterpart have the experiences that they need to have, because if you can appreciate on a soul level that no matter who they're with or what they're doing, but they have to do this in order to get to a space where you could ever reunite, if you can really viscerally feel that, then you can almost get to a place of well, total acceptance that it's cool, they're doing what they need to do, and I don't feel any less like good about myself. I don't feel like they don't care about me. I don't feel like I'm not good enough. Like none of that even comes into play, because you actually oops, sorry guys, my battery just quit out there. So I'm one of those tarot readers that when I'm reading, then I just see every single thing that happens in that moment as related to the reading. And I do feel the fact that it cut out just when I was saying that, just when I'm basically saying that if you can get to that place of appreciating that they have to be in this dynamic with somebody else or with a different situation, I do feel obviously with somebody else, because they have to do that in order to get in alignment, to be in a high vibrational relationship with you, and that this is so important for their soul's growth. Like if you can almost get into the place of actually, you know what, Forget what I just said. Forget that actually they need to go through this to be able to get there with you. If you can get to an even higher space of love, which is like, you know what, they need to do this and they need to do it for them. Because when they do this, they learn the things they need to, they understand more what they want, like they get more empowered within themselves. And I just want them to be the best version that they can be, with or without me. And right now, this is the pathway that has to happen in order for them to get to that place. If you can get to that place, then you've friggin' boshed it. And like I said, I think the reason why the battery cut out is because, guys, that's hardcore. Like, I totally get it. That is hard friggin' core. To hold such an open, accepting place of love when in a complete space of separation. And I do know you're coming from a place of feeling very intense to do that at the moment, but you know what? It's not impossible. You can totally get to that space, but it does start by just definitely, if you can access that true space of love for your twin, which is they need to do this and they need to do it for them. And you know what? I want them to just be the best they can be, so that's what they need to do, and I accept that. And actually, I will support that. But obviously at the same time, you then need to focus on yourself and you need to have another driver. Also, we're not friggin' saints. So if you go up and down between feeling that and not feeling that, fair play, do you know what I mean? You're doing well. Things are happening the way they need to happen. Things are evening out by the looks of it with Edens. And really importantly, your twin is having the experiences that they need to have to release the karma. So now let's just see what's the guidance for them, where stuff is at. Oh, a sacred union. Now, you know what? I know this becomes a real head fuck when somebody says this, but this is the twin flame journey, right? Because of all the relationships that you could have, this is one that is absolutely gonna work with you just as much in this physical third dimensional reality as it is in the fifth dimensional energetic, psychic, spiritual reality. Right now, it really is about appreciating that. You know what, it's like this is what my guide's saying to me. If you could only be conscious when you have those dreams about them, if you could only be conscious as in like actually fully awake in the fifth dimensional reality, when you are both talking to each other and you're understanding exactly why you're in this situation and you're actually even laughing about it and your soul's even giving this person's soul's advice about how to work with it, and it's great because there is none of that physical 3D attachment. If you can just really appreciate that on a soul level, that is exactly what is happening in this relationship dynamic now. And truly, and this is hard, I know, but what you see in the third dimensional reality is an illusion for what is going off on the soul level. But then this is the other thing within this. It is like letting somebody's physical human being self make whatever choices that they want to make, and just completely surrendering into the fact that we all have free will. And actually free will is friggin' awesome because it gives you so many awesome things too. If you can try and access that space, you'll get massive breakthroughs. You'll get massive breakthroughs, and you will feel so much lighter. And I really do feel like I'm only talking about this because this has a super strong potential to happen for you if you choose to want to basically be happy more than suffer right now. And because you can totally do that. And I do think if you can just try and hold nice memories to do with this individual, at the same time as really focus on you and what you want to do. And do remember, because I often feel like this is more the masculine energy counterpart at the moment, and you're more the feminine energy counterpart at the moment. As I've said on other videos, it can totally switch, and you guys, believe it or not, will switch constantly, because the whole idea is sometimes you're masculine, sometimes you're feminine, and this relationship allows you to explore both. When I talk about this, I mean energies, right? It's the energies that change, because it allows you to be more of a conscious creator if you can use all of your feminine energy and all of your masculine energy. But currently they're more masculine energy, you're more feminine energy. And if you can often the masculine energy point is happy to go off with another, like a soulmate or a karmic relationship or whatever, right? And quite often the feminine counterpart is like, oh no, because I know they're my twin flames, so I should wait because we're supposed to be together and all of this. I totally understand it, and I totally get it. My guidance for you would be, Get in the place that we've already discussed about this other person, and then open yourself up to other soulmates coming in. You know what? Because nothing is set in stone, anything can happen, and beautiful things are able to happen at any moment, but you almost have to be open to them. And if right now something else is going off with this individual, you know what, it's okay. You can also then go off and explore another soul, like another human being, because you know what, every human being often has so many beautiful gifts and experiences they can bring. And I know at times it can feel like, no, but that's the only one I want, I will only ever be happy with this person. Trust me, I've been there. And I can trust me when I say it is not true. It is not true. And actually, the more that you can loosen up around that, the more you will find your counterpart will loosen up about being connected onto a person or individual. But as always, remember, you don't do something for you in order to have the knock-on effect on them. If you do that, it's almost like you're starting to play with a bit of sorcery energy, and that is always a low vibration. And if you start playing with a low vibration, the outcome you'll get is a low vibrational response, if that makes sense. So just have a think about all of that. Play with your natural frequency colour set. Know that it's great what's going on here, because they have to do this to grow. They've got to do it, right? If you can get into a place of this is not personal, this is just something they must do for their soul, then you can relax a lot more here. And maybe you can even open up and allow yourself to experience some new things through another soul. It doesn't even have to be a partner, like a romantic partner. It could even be a new friend, or it could be a romantic partner. It's up to you, right? So just relaxing and just clearing out that heavy energy would be great. Now let's just see what's the paranimal that's protecting you guys. Oh, nice. I wasn't pulled to the numbers on any of the other animal cards so far, but I really am with you guys. 66. So I always think of as sixes as like harmonious relationships. And you know what really just makes me think? Harmonious relationship here, and then you'll actually have a harmonious relationship together. And there's something in that, so take that whichever way that you want. It also says, White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic. This is the thing. We don't always need to know why things are happening, but if you can just trust that they're truly happening for the best outcome, then actually you don't need to understand it, because you've got all of the reassurance that you need that this needs to happen for the next best thing to occur. And that is totally what I feel with this, because do forget here, look, we've got sacred union here. I know there's so much communication that's going off between you two in third dimensional reality. So do you know what? Do spend time meditating, but also please watch out for codependency. So maybe have a little Google around codependency and how that also got set up in your childhood and things like that. Because if you can release that, it will relax off on here, and then great things will start to happen. So I hope that was useful. Now let's just because remember, twin flame journey, it's an up and down process. It's not always good, it's not always bad, it can be incredible, it can be hardcore. If you can start to flow with those rhythms, you'll actually pass quicker from the intense parts to the joyful parts. And I really do feel that. Ooh, this one flicked out, so this is clearly important with whatever this is saying. Now, I'm not going to read this for you. This is your wild card, just for you to interpret, to make this your own. Trust whatever comes up on the card. For example, it may say a word and you may feel totally different about it. You just go with what you feel is the most important thing. Trust your own guidance. I'll then read stuff out the book, so let's see. So we get here, cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realise that every person experience has value. Nice. That's really interesting with everything we were saying. Let me just read this out loud. Sorry, I know this one's gone on quite long, but obviously there's quite a lot going off here. Right, so it says, when you are receptive to the input, opinions and values of others, you broaden your Earth School perspective. Someone else's point of view is one of the most valuable teachers you can experience during your time in physical dimension. It is through the cooperative spirit, in which you have the dynamic of give and take, that the two halves then become one whole. Cooperating and honouring another's opinion promotes not only friendship and social skills, but more possibilities for how to love and be loved. Often the life experiences of someone you trust can prevent you from making the same mistakes. Stubbornness and the refusal to accept guidance can lead you into a maze of wrong turns and dead ends. Never be afraid to ask for advice. We are here to help each other, so knowledge received is meant to be shared. Two heads are better than one. Cool. So have a think about all of that. Definitely do your energy clearing. You're going to feel so much better when you do that. So much better. You really, really are. And just trust that everything is currently happening the way that it needs to happen. It totally and utterly is. If you please follow me on Instagram. I'm under Abigail Grace 2311. I post loads of stuff, tarot stuff, astrology, twin flame stuff, energy tools, the whole lot. Because I think one of the most best ways that you sort out twin flame dynamics is you really start to work with your own psychic self. Because twin flames is working way more than, like I said, just 3D reality. It's also 5D reality, which is where psychic stuff often prevails a lot. But anyway, hope that was useful, and yeah, just energy clear. You'll feel so much better, I promise you. It's all good. It's all going the way it needs to go. Just trust it without understanding it. And now we'll do pile 4. Hi there. So this is pile number 4. So I got quite a lot of long channeled messages for you guys when I was shuffling the cards. I'm going to be straight off the bat here. You guys are in a very different vibrational space to piles 1, 2 and 3. You really, really were. Just everything about it felt different. I felt relaxed. I felt like there was comfort and there was ease. I felt like there was a real acceptance for like where things are both at within your journey. I felt like a lot of intense karma has been worked on and it's been released. And that actually you're both able to have a much more grounded, relaxed perspective to do with your interactions, and that just felt great. So your cards came out quite differently. You're the only pile where this happened, where instantly I just had to pull cards for where you're both at as a joint energy, because your pile felt like you're the most joint than any of the other piles. And then I got cards for where you're at to do this, and I got cards for where they're at to do this, and then we got a power animal card and also a guidance card. So we'll see where that's at. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what cards you get, because just such, like, I always know as a psychic when heavy energy is being released or when there's relaxation, because I have to like sigh out loads. And while I was doing the cards, I had to sigh out for you guys. While I was like writing the notes, I had to like sigh out. Like, I had one massive yawn that I had to do, and I just made me feel like so much intensity has come out of this connection in a really, really good way. But anyway, let's see where everything's at. So the messages my guides gave me to do with you is, yeah, you're in a very different place to do with the other piles. A lot of the old ways have been released, so heavy energy karmas, I felt like a lot of that had been released. I then really felt things were like calm, there was a serenity, and there was a comfort that's going off between you two. And once again, I got so much has been released. I mean, I had to channeled that down twice. That makes me think that not just you have released a lot, but also they have released a lot, and therefore your twin flame connection has released a lot. I then got this really nice vision. I got a vision of like a sailing boat bobbing up and down in the sea. The sky was bright blue, and there were like happy seagulls like around it. Please don't ask me why I felt they were happy, but I just did. But I also got that the boat hadn't decided where it wanted to go next, and it was totally okay with that. It was like it was just enjoying the moment, and like the destination of anything did not matter, because the peace it had at this point in time was like more than enough to satisfy every part of it. So let's see how this all relates with what we see. So let's first we'll go with what came up first, because we got these 3 cards first. Okay, so we got you deserve love, you are lovable. We got the Queen of Pentacles, and we got the 7 of Swords. So let me just feel into this. I feel with the 7 of Swords here, I feel like a lot has been going off behind the scenes with both of you guys, both in your own lives, but also on that fifth dimensional, like spiritual level. You've both been working on so much, and actually that's made you both really abundant as souls. And I feel like that abundance is then going to start slowly trickling out over 2020 into your physical reality. And I really feel like there's a good opportunity that things go into an even more united space with both of you over the coming year. Now this is an anytime reading, so whenever you pick this up, like the next 12 months is going to be super potent for you getting to new levels of union with each other in whatever way your twin flame connection is supposed to unite. Because just also be mindful that I know there's like loads of information going around that you would always be with your twin flame in a romantic situation. You may not, right? But I guarantee when you get to the place of union of whatever is the destination for your twin flame connection, it's gonna feel incredible. And the tag and the label of what it is just non-relevant. So I really do feel like that's like gone off. Because sometimes you can see this card as like deceit or stuff going off. But I mean, for me, I feel like it's just so much has been built from behind the scenes. But there's still a little bit more to go. And it makes me think that something about the solar eclipses is powerful. So they happen in January and then they'll happen a lot later on in the year. There's some potent stuff that's going to start happening then. Because there's still something that's being built. And I feel like it's exciting. I feel like it's full of potential and wonder and mystery and magic. And it's going to be another really cool like string to the bow of your twin flame story connection is what I feel with that. I do definitely feel a lot of abundance is coming, both individually for both of you and within the connection. And I feel like a lot of the universe is actually wanting both of you to focus on abundance in your life now. Like I feel like you've both done a lot of work, you've both like been through many challenges, you've worked through stuff, you've really got to another level of your self-mastery, but now it's about enjoying what you are. And once you start enjoying what you are, both of you are going to receive even more in your physical reality. And it's going to be pimping, is what I really feel. So, this is cool. This is such a different vibe to pile 3. And it's cool because I guarantee you guys have been where pile 3's been. And now you're here, which is awesome. So I feel like I don't know which way that should go. So we get the moon for you guys in kind of like a mixed position. We get healing family issues upright, nice. And we also get Chiron healing. So to do with you, clearly you have been working on some family dynamics. Let's just see what's going on here. Sorry, it's just making me think about that a bit. You've been stuck in this family dynamic thing for quite a long time. It's taken up a lot of energy. I think this has been over years, you know. You just peel back different layers between it. I want to pull another one for that to see where that's going, but let's just see what's going on here with them. So they are 6 of Swords upright. Trust. Oh, that is, you know what I'm feeling? That is big time cute. That they are feeling trusting towards you to do with the situation. And you know what's even better? They're trusting life and they're trusting their own soul. I mean, that's awesome. That is awesome. And here, oh, nice. Leo, the lover. Wow. Okay, so I just wanted to pull a little bit more for this one here. So I'm going to use these additional cards here because I just want to see where you're at to do with healing these family issues, because clearly this is something that has, I think, been a big theme for you. I feel like your twin flames even talk to you about some of these things that you've had to work on, and I feel like they've always given you a bit of guidance in different abstract ways to do with where you're at to do with this healing. Wow, that flipped out. Let's see what we get. Oh, nice. So Ace of Pentacles, just want a couple more. I really feel like actually they have been, you know what, I feel they are very proud of you and everything that you've achieved to do with this. I really feel like they know it's been hardcore. I feel that they understand on a soul, on a human level, how much has been required to work through family issues and places where you have deep like insecurities. I feel you've had some deep insecurities which you've then worked incredibly hard to master, and you truly have mastered them. And over the next 12 months, you're really going to reap all of the rewards from everything that you've done here, both on a feminine energy level, in a relationship level, and also on a masculine energy level to do with money and life purpose. And I think as well the drum confirms a new pattern is about to begin to do with all of this. Let me just see. Oh, we get the moon again. I think you're definitely opening yourself up to be seen as desirable, I think you're starting to feel that it's safe to be who you really are, and that actually you have you got a beautiful vibe that people always want, and now you're going to start to feel safe to share it. And because you feel safe to start sharing yourself, your twin flame then feels that you are open and receptive to them in a way that you've never been open to them before. What I find really interesting for you is there's lots of new starts going on here. Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune upright. I feel like there's like a tiny little bit over the next 4 to 6 weeks, my guides are telling me, it's different for all of you, where there's a consolidation of all of this family stuff, and then things are really moving off into a new direction. And the thing is, this is coming up to do with this twin flame dynamic, because family stuff is stuff that's been stopping you, receiving abundance in your life, you know, money-wise, success-wise, but also relationship-wise with your twin flame, and also anybody else that you might be connected to in that kind of way. So actually, yeah, you remind me of the boat that's just happy to bob up and down right now, because it hasn't quite decided the new direction of where it's going. It knows it's going to have to make its decision soon, because, you know, the beautiful sun's going to go down and then it needs to move on. It almost needs to, as soon as the moonlight comes up, it's like the boat knows it needs to move on. So you're so close to knowing what you need to do. There's a tiny little bit more of crystallization to do with family stuff and issues you felt about yourself, to do with feeling insecure and like you've been wounded in a certain way, which has meant that you weren't able to express or be who you truly were. But you're so close to just ending that cycle now and then beginning the new cycle where you just feel completely liberated to be who you want to be, and you don't care who's watching or who's looking. It's really what I feel for you. And that therefore means that you're very, very open to your twin. So let's just see with you. Let's pull some more for your twin. Oh, nice. So we have Knight of Cups. They're feeling romantic. 10 of Wands. And we've got this upside down. 2 of Drums. I feel they have also spent a lot of time working on themselves. They're also almost at the end of a really intense, like, limiting belief. It's almost like you've had relationship stuff, like in a very feminine energy way, but they've had real restrictive stuff to do with their belief systems about how they see themselves and how they fit in reality, and that has caused a lot of a block up for you two uniting from their perspective. I feel in the same way that they've told you about stuff to do with family and your insecurities, I feel that you've told them stuff to do with this limiting belief, to do with them being restrictive to do with things and not open to do with things, and maybe controlling in some kind of way. And I really feel like they've like listened to it. I also feel like they might have been somebody that sort of almost played around a little bit. And that was part of this belief system that you then told them about. And they really have. They've contemplated about what they're like in relationships. They've contemplated about what they want in relationships. They've spent loads of time doing this. And actually now they've come to a point where they're just about to end this limiting belief system that set up this dynamic and set up control. And they're also about to come into a new space. I feel you go into the new space first, and then that triggers them to also go into their new space shortly after. But I feel the only reason why you go into the new space first is because they've been able to hold an incredible space for you in fifth dimensional reality, which has then given you the lead to take ownership in your physical reality. And then it's like a knock-on effect. Then you hold the space for them in 3D reality while they just nail this last little bit in 3D reality. Sounds complicated, but really it's just like this beautiful infinity dance that I feel you guys are on. I love it. This is great. Really, really good. Now let me just see what's the overall guidance for where stuff is at. Oh, nice. So forgiveness. It's interesting because on my Instagram account, and it's something my guides have been telling me, is like in order to prepare for like a new cycle, because this isn't any time reading, right? So whatever is the new cycles that are coming, and you'll know given the time periods of when you watch this, but it's really important to just forgive something, and you'll know exactly what is the thing that you need to forgive. I'm telling you right now, to do this twin flame connection, you don't need to forgive them, and they do not need to forgive you. You both need to forgive something from your past, okay, that is actually not related to either of you. if you both work on forgiving that, it's actually somehow then going to bring you guys even closer together. And I really, really feel that. So on my Instagram, which is Abigail Grace 2311, I've done a post. It's one of the more it's a post that's called the most effective way to get rid of karma, something like that. On there, it's got the 6 steps that you need to do. Do that. This will massively help with the entire situation. But please remember, you don't need to forgive them and they are not forgiving you. With you guys, it's definitely somebody significant in your childhood past. I almost feel like it's an ancestral line, and I'm going to, intuitively, I feel like you need to forgive your female ancestral line. But for a couple of you, it will be your male ancestral line. You will know. But you're working with much bigger themes here, definitely. So that's what I'm getting with that, with the guidance. And then the animal, oh, nice. So the animal that best describes where your connection's at, and the animal that's holding space for your connection right now is the giraffe. See the bigger picture. And you know what, that makes sense with what I'm seeing about forgiveness. I think you both realise that actually any separations or irritations you've had to do with each other and the connection, you now really realise it's nothing to do with either one of you. In fact, actually, you both know, and the words I'm getting is this, you both know that each of you are gold dust. You know you're gold dust. It's just that you'd got confused before and you were projecting each other's past issues on each other. I really do feel like now both of you have the bigger perspective of that, and that's ultimately why you don't need to forgive each other, because there was nothing to forgive in the first place to do with you. It's like you've broke past that illusion that I think it takes a long time to get out of within the twin flame dynamic. So this is awesome. I love it. I also love how each one of these readings has been very, very different, but it's because there's so many different phases of the twin flame journey. But I'm really, really liking this a lot. So this is super positive, and I love what's coming on its way for you too. This is so good, and it's soon. It's quick. It's within the next 4 to 6 weeks from whenever you watch this video. So now let's just pull a wild card. So this is just for you to interpret, okay? So I can tell already you're well developed psychically. I know because we've got 2 moons here. I know that you don't get to this stage of twin flame development without having worked on yourself enough to have unlocked enough energy within your energy field so that you receive a lot of intuitive guidance. Whoa, they all flipped up. I'm just going to go with this one. And this is... oh, it's just very cool. Sorry, it's kind of shocked me a bit. That tells me there's something shocking but in a really cool, fun way that's on its way for this connection, because I read everything in the moment of the spread. Just give me a minute. I'm going to see what fell on the floor because I am actually super curious. Okay, so it landed upright. Oh, we actually got patience. It says here, you are able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. I think you totally get this, and I feel like that's the reason why it flicked out. And I do feel like I want to flick it out because I don't really think it impacts this reading anymore. And I think that's why it fell off the table, because you have had a lot of patience to do with this dynamic. You've had a lot of patience to do with yourself and your growth within it. But so now it's all about purpose. And it says here, you possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love. So let me just read this out for you, and then you can make this your own with whatever you feel to do with this dynamic, to do with you, to do with your twin flame. I do know you can trust whatever you feel to do with your twin flame. You're pretty much at that stage for sure. So it says here, people with a purpose are leaders. People with a purpose coupled with compassion are teachers. You have come to a point in your journey when you must demonstrate to yourself that you are a teacher. Now is the time to be the change that you want to see in the world. Being a person of integrity is your goal. You know your place in the world and how you may be an example to others for the betterment of humankind. You tend to have a very strong intuitive side and use it on a daily basis for clarity of purpose. You have a passion for everything you do, seeing each day as an opportunity to manifest love. You are blessed with a sense of inner peace because you are satisfied with who you are and what you have. Life seems easy because you have learnt that you don't have to make the choices between love and fear. You already know that the negative energy of fear is not an option. Love that. Be a guiding light. Show the world how it's done, motherfucker. Obviously, you didn't say that last bit, but I just thought I must channel that. My guides always swear. Epic. I totally love it. So yeah, just think about this, think about the 6 phase of forgiveness, and you know what, just enjoy where you're at, because it will soon move into something else which will be equally as pimp. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please follow me, like I say, on Instagram. I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic. You know what, I just think you'll find loads of things interesting there. The one that I think is good for any twin flames is knowing your natural frequency colour set, so you can use it in meditation. I just think you'll find it interesting. So I'll leave a link for that below. But other than that, hope to read for you guys again. It's been a complete and utter pleasure, and just well done on just like smashing it, because I know that's taken epic self-mastery and discipline. So cool, take care.